Hi there, Martin here. Thank you for joining me once again. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since I posted a video, so sorry about that. But this is a two-parter on turning a spinning top and launcher. But it's not just any spinning top and launcher. Oh no, I've looked around the internet and I've seen some spinning tops and launchers and taken some inspiration from them, which have been fabulous. I can't remember who they are, so sorry about that. But what I've also done is I've made a table, or a table or tray for the spinning top to go into, so you can play your games on the top. But this table also spins. So you launch your spinning top into the table, and then you can spin the table round and watch everything all kind of spin together. Two parts. First part is gluing up these bits and also making the top and the launcher, and then part two, which will be next week, will be these bits, the base and the bottom of the base and the Lazy Susan and stuff. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. It's a bit of a long one, I think, but it should be quite good. So let's I'll show you how this works, I hope. There we go, it spins rather well. Enjoy the film. Yeah, I'm really excited about this week's project. I've been planning it for a couple of weeks, and I've now got some time that I can actually do it, which is really exciting. It's going to be a spinning top on a turny base. So what I've got to make it, I've got this lump of, I think it's sapele, it's quite big. This bit's going to be the actual spinning top, but I need to cut it down to size, or cut it down to height. This piece, which I think could be sapele or Meranti or something like that, I don't really know, is going to be the launcher for the spinning top. This piece of, again, it could be Meranti, I'm not really sure, could be sapele, I don't know. This piece is going to be the base, on which is going to sit a Lazy Susan bearing. I couldn't get a circular one, so I had to get a square one, so that's going to sit on there. And then out of this sort of 10-inch piece of wood, sapele, Meranti, something like that, is going to sit on top of that, and then spin like so, and then you spin the spinning top in the tray, in the platy dish. And what I'm also going to do is on the actual top itself, when I take the top out, I'm going to put some wood inserts into the end here, so it becomes kind of almost like a polka dot. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, this, because I've not done this kind of thing before, but we can but try. So this is going to have, the top is going to have 5 bits in it, 5 bits inserted lengthways into the wood, in a square here, and then one straight up the centre. So hopefully the upright, the spindle bit, I suppose you could call it, of the top will be 2 different colours. And the same for the tray, or the plate, dish, tray. Let's call it a tray. I'm going to have different coloured woods, hopefully in a spiral. I'm not sure yet, we'll have to see. So yeah, I'm going to cut these down and then I'll give you some measurements, and then we'll take it from there. I've cut the two pieces down to size now, so this big piece, about 95mm across, is going to be the actual spinning top itself, and this piece, which I've cut down to 230 odd mils, so just over 9 inches, is going to be the handle. I've made a mark at this end on my left for a spigot to go into the chuck, and then the rest of the handle will be turned out of this bit. But I need to figure out how I'm going to put the holes through for the spindle of the top and the hole for the launchy string stuff. So first of all, I need to find my compass. Right, found a compass anyway. I've marked the centre of the handle using the centre finder, and now I'm going to mark a circle on there, 40mm or about 1 3/4 inches in diameter, because that's how big I want the launch handle to be. I think that may change. So there's the circle marked on the end. I hope you can see that. Now what do I need to do? I need to think how far down I need to put the, what's it, so if that's 40mm, I need to mark 40mm back. So I'll mark it from there to there. So my mark here is 50mm from the end, and I've also made a mark of 40mm in from the furthest point back, so I'll just square that off and go right the way round with it as well, because you'll see why in a minute. Okay, right, I want to mark the centre of this side and this side, because I need to drill two different size holes, one for the spindle to go through and the other for the launch. So I need to find the centre of those, so I'll mark the centre of this one, like so. There we go, I hope you can see that. I've got across here and across here. Now down this side I'm going to drill a hole about that big, and this is 37/64. I've just gone through my my pen blank drills, so I think I'll do 37/64 through there. I think might go a bit bigger, hang on. Here we go, done at last. It took ages. The drill bit I was going to use originally was as blunt as you like, and then I tried to force it a bit, and that was blunt as well. So as you can see, there's various attempts, but I'm not worried about those, because as I turn it, they will disappear. So I've gone with this drill bit, which is 3/4 of an inch. So it's a little bit smaller than 19mm, 3/4 of an inch. So it's a bit smaller than I had hoped, but never mind. And then this smaller hole here is for the spindle of the top to go through. Next, I need to get some holes in here. Yes, let's give that a go. On the blank that will be the actual spinning top itself, I marked the centre of one end and then I've attached it to a screw chuck or a worm screw. And in the drill chuck over here, I've got a 10mm drill bit that I'm going to sink in almost to the full length, which is about 11 centimetres, 110mm, which is about 4.5 inches. So that should give me a different colour piece of wood when I insert it into the hole. So I'm going to drill out this hole to about 11 centimetres and see how it looks. I've never done it like this before really, so let's see. Right, there we go. That should hopefully be good enough. Over on the small lathe, I found a really nice little branch of cherry, which I'm going to turn down to just about 10mm, so I can then insert that into the spinning top blank that I've just drilled out. Okay, moment of truth. I've turned this little piece of cherry down to just under 10mm and it looks like it's going to fit. But what I have also forgotten is, or rather what I forgot, was there's going to be a certain amount of air pressure in the bottom there. So I have a persuader here so I can tap it down, and also the drill bit that was used isn't square on the bottom. So there's going to be a little V shape, whereas the piece of cherry doesn't. So I'm going to sprinkle some sawdust in the bottom to create a kind of bed for it to accept the shape of the sorry about that. To accept the shape of the V at the bottom of the drill bit, and also glue in nicely to the end of there. So I've got some Type Bond Original, which I'm going to squirt on down the tube into the bottom and give that a little while to soak. I'm going to cover this all the way round. Now it's a really tight fit, so I'm going to have to hit it with a hammer to get it in. So there we go, that's covered. I'm going to do that end as well, and then push it in, and then persuade it a little bit. I'll be back in a minute. There we go. I've persuaded it in. I don't think it's gotten all the way to the bottom of the hole. But we will have to wait and see. It should be in quite a long way, but we will have to wait and see. Now, next up, I need to drill the holes through the bit that's going to be the turny tray or turny plate, and for that I'm going to use, I don't quite know how I'm going to do it. I think I might just do it in a kind of fairly random pattern and then choose some woods to go into it. Finally, there we go. That took ages to drill those 14mm holes, but there we are, they're done. They are in a fairly kind of randomy pattern. That'll be quite good. Now, I've drilled the holes as you've seen, and I've turned each of the little bits to go into the base like that. So I've got some yew, some spalted beech, Brazilian Ipe, Panga, I think that is. I think it's Panga. Some cherry, more spalted beech. Oh no, that's oak. That's oak. That one. Yeah, so I've got 9 of those, and I'm going to glue those into place. I'll cut them down to roughly the right depth for the tray as well. So yeah, it will hopefully look quite pretty when it spins. And there, all glued up. Where some of them haven't been exactly an overly snug fit, I've just dribbled some glue down the sides, and hopefully that will seal it up. But as I turn it, any gaps that I see or anything like that, I'll top up with some CA glue as we turn it. Right, let's have a look at turning the actual... Oh, let's do the handle of the top first. Right, finally we get to do some actual turning. Right, I've got the handle in the lathe between centres, with the launch end of the handle, where the holes are, on the left by the headstock, because I need to turn a tenon or spigot thing on the right hand end, so I can turn it round and put it into the chuck, so I can work on the roundy bit where the launch is going to go. So let's get this turned round and turn the spigot. Down to roughly 40mm. It's about 43 actually, but never mind. Right, I need to make a ball over here now, a slight ball shape, and I'm going to mark out where I want everything to be. So I want to be about 40mm. So if I just find a vague centre of one of the holes on the end here, and just mark that off. I'm not particularly concerned if it's exactly 40mm or not, but a slightly more bally shape would be preferable. So there's the mark for the ball. I'll put a little detail in there, I think, and a bit of a detail in there. I'm going to have to mark these again actually, and then a hand, and then mark the end of the launcher about there, I think. So this is the mark here on the left, is about a hand's grip from the little detail ball. Yeah, something like that. Right, need to get the spindle gouge. Get the spindle gouge that's nice and sharp, and start turning off the ball at the end here. There we are. That's about as bally as I dare go. I'm not very good at balls. So yeah, there's the ball end, or the launcher end. So the spindle of the spinner, of the actual spinning top, will go through this one, the small one, and the threads will go through that one there to pull the top into action. So now I need to form the rest of the handle. As I said, I'm going to put a little sort of decoration a little bit down from the ball to kind of echo the shape of the ball, and then a nice shape on the actual main handle itself. There we go, that's done pretty much. That's the vague shape of the handle, which I'm quite pleased with. I just need to sand it now. I'm going to turn the launch end with the holes, I'm going to turn that into a little blunt point just to take away the mark from the live centre, and then I'm going to use just another piece of wood with a little V shape in it, so I can just place it over the top, but I'll show you that when I get to it. Right, let's just very carefully get this end rounded off. Here's the launcher end. As I was turning it, there's a little bit of tear out on the holes. I don't know if you can see that, and plus it looks a little bit like the wood is beginning to split, so I'm going to put some CA glue in there just to hold that steady, and then when that's gone off I'm going to sand it down, round this end off a little bit more. It's pretty sturdy in the chuck, and then start finishing. I'll finish this end first so I can bring the tailstock up with the extra little supporty bit. So I'll finish this end first and then do the rest. Here's the extra bit of wood I was telling you about. I'm going to put it onto the tailstock just like that, so it just kind of balances. And bring the tailstock up a little bit, lock it off, undo it, and then just press it on just like that, so I get a little bit of support. I don't need an awful lot of support, but it's just enough because some of these areas are a bit on the thin side. Right, so let's get some CA glue. I've got some Zappa Gap CA glue, which I'm going to dribble into the gap where the wood looks like it's starting to split, and just give it a little bit of time just to sink in. Just check the rest of it. All looks good to me. Ta-da! Right, one handle, sanded down to 600. I've given it a bit of a clean with some methylated spirits, or as it's known in the States, denatured alcohol. Next up, I'm going to give it a coat of cellulose sealer using Mike Walt's mix of, I think it's 60-40. So I'm just going to give that coat of sanding sealer. It's quite warm today, so it's only been about 3 or 4 minutes. So going to get some Danish oil. Going to get some Danish oil in there as well, hopefully. See if I can darken it down a tone or two. Yeah, it's gone a bit darker. And now I'm going to put on some lathe polish. I like lathe polish. I don't see many YouTubers using lathe polish. I don't know if that's because they think it's a cop-out or whatever, but I actually happen to quite like lathe polish. It gives a nice shine, it's nice and quick, and it also acts as kind of like a double sealer as well. So, and what I do when I apply it is I just rub it on, rub it in, and then I put another coat on and just leave it slightly glossy on the top, and then let that dry and then polish it off, or then buff it up. And then buffing up the lathe polish. There, pretty, pretty, pretty. That's got a lovely shine on it now. Yep, very nice. Last job is just to turn it off, or part it off, so get the tool rest back up. And here we go. Here is our finished handle, and I just need to finish off this end by hand, and then we'll be ready to turn the actual top itself. Fab, I'm chuffed with that. Well done me. Next up, let's have a look at turning the actual top. Do you remember at the beginning of the video I drove some cherry into the end of this piece, hoping to get two different colours on the centre spike spindle thing of the actual top. Now I'm not sure how far it went in, so as I turn this it could all go horribly wrong, but we'll see. So I've got the block back on back on the screw chuck, worm screw thing, and I'm going to bring up the tailstock, turn it round, and mark out roughly where I want each of the bits to be. Right, we're round and we're about 90 millimetres in diameter, which I think, to be fair, is a bit too much. So I'll probably end up taking it down a fair bit. Now I think the piece of cherry that I drove in only went down about 100, call it maybe 95 mil, something like that. So I think the piece of cherry up the centre runs out about there. I think. I don't know. I'm not overly worried because I've got enough left in here to do another piece. So I can get one out of here-ish, and if it falls off here, then I can take another piece out of the top half. So what I'll do, I'm going to rough it down. I'm going to take it down with a spindle gouge actually, and start making the actual top. Now we approach the moment of truth. There was a little split just occurring in the side of the top here, so I've just added some CA glue to that. The cherries come out nicely. I don't know if you can see that particularly well from that angle, but yep, that's looking nice. Now I need to turn the bottom part, and I'm going to get as close as I can, and then I need to finish it. So I'm going to take the spindle gouge back in again and carve out the bottom of the spinning top. Okay, so far so good. It's getting a bit wobbly now, and I can just see where the spindle has spindle gouge has just crept through to part of the hole. So I'm going to leave it there, finish the rest of it, and then part it off and hope for the best. Gulp. Okay, right, it's been sanded, sealed, oiled and whatnot, and now it's time to turn it off. But if you remember, I'm not sure if the cherry insert went all the way down to the end of where I need it to be. So I'm not sure if it's going to turn off successfully or not. And you can find out next week in part 2 of spinning top and a turny table thing. Bye for now, thanks for watching.